bored for a while. Like, this is like third day of me building this, but I was bored, and I said, you know what, screw it. I just want to make them orange. Okay, here, that's here. How are the clouds blocking you? Give me a second, and it's in. Okay. I plan on putting this in survival when I finish with all modules. Because right now I have, this is going to be the 7th, and I have this on storyline because I play with my stepbrother and stuff. This is, for this second mission, this second landing, there's going to be, at the end of the mission, there's going to be 12 new modules added on. First mission added for, wait, the first mission added for, which is technically intended to be 3, but something which I will tell you later in this stream, in the storyline, they felt that extended their mission time an extra 50 days. So they needed a 4th module. And the second mission added this one and this one on. Okay, this was the first module, that was the second, that was the third, and this was the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and the 7th. That's what the 8th, 9th, and the 10th was gonna go 11th, and 12th, and then going to expand it a little bit farther out, and it's gonna be like in this kind of way, because that's how I want it to be, and it's my world. I have the first landing, and over to the second, and then I incorporate all, like, these crazy you see I incorporate into the storyline. Okay, so I'll give a rundown of what we have here. So this is the first landing, and I call the missions Exodus missions, because I feel like it. And that's really crazy, but I felt like putting that. Second landing. So you call it Exodus 2. It's actually a pretty simple build. I modeled after Starship, and then the Mars the ascent vehicle from the Martian, because I couldn't model it on the descent because we don't never see it. And American flag, and then air it, and there's only one right now. And this is the first module. It doesn't look like much, but spacesuits, leather, but I put armor for iron for something else. You'll understand why I have that there. Food chest, supplies, and then miscellaneous shit, and then also samples, and then water from way down there. Second is the experimental greenhouse. Here we go, Martian potatoes. You get the reference because I referenced something else in here. And then this is the 4th one. I haven't decided what these, like, that module is going to be. This one, and this one is, but this one is going to be the barracks, you could say, where the astronauts eat. I mean, the astronauts sleep and then shower. The thing is, though, I made it kind of small on purpose and on accident. I meant to have it kind of be like a pyramid kind of way, where it like keeps going up tiers. You place like a beacon up, like that. But I kind of screwed up on it. that isn't creative because I feel like it, and I can do that. But I do plan on switching to survival. When, I don't know. But once I finish putting all the lights on in, I'll get to the storyline. So for like the second mission, there's going to be a total of. Just give me a second. I keep hearing this beeping from downstairs. I think it's one of the kids' toys. But it's supposed to be 12, so it's supposed to be a total of 15 modules after for the second mission. Okay, now to the storyline. So this was the first landing for and you can see July 4th, 2026. And then so the first crew stayed here for originally it's supposed to be 50 souls, which is what you call a day on Mars, but they found something under the ground that extended their mission time to 100, so that's why they needed a fourth module for the thing they found. And then second mission can kill you. That mission landed on December 24th, 2029, and you can see that same vehicle. And then they added this module, this one, and their mission time is to be 50 souls. Well, no, 500 souls I meant, which is the longest mission for right now. And they need to get a total of 15 modules by the end of their mission time. And then now to storyline this, I incorporated into that a sandstorm happened and it revealed a past civilization on Mars, and then a crater opened that showed there is indeed, in fact, water still on the planet. About this tape, and you're wondering what that is. A tiny little sinkhole opened up at the bottom. And why you're wondering I have glowstone? Well, I get to that. Found out that the planet under Mars is hollow. This is not true. None of this is scientifically accurate. All this is pretty much scientifically accurate, except for the possibly alien civilization that I incorporated into here, and that they believe to be the core, and then they found out that it's hollow under here, and then they first found these nether portals, which were off, but then they activated and they went in and believe that the portal sends them deeper into the planet. And then here they found this covered by this glowstone that fell off to another earthquake, well, Marsquake, and then they found out about the alien civilization. I'm planning on incorporating more buildings, and then there, another Marsquake happened, and then it unstabilized the whole area. I mean, they were there. And the reason why I had no iron on is because here the pressure is 1 times greater than that of the deepest part of the ocean. And I was about I plan on changing to like 20 times greater than that later. and stuff, and then they found this 2 days ago, which is supposed to be like a elevator from Subnautica, the one precursors made where it launches you or lifts you up or lifts you down, and found this to be a control center for stuff here in the for stuff here under the planet. And then they found that, which, and I'm planning on making more of these, and it's also a shrine or a little bit of a temple. That's just that. I'm planning on incorporating, like, putting in like smaller things under here. And then this activated just yesterday, and which they believe that this crystal is something that is for religious purposes, and then that the beacon beam goes up and drills up to the surface. They believe, but spoiler, it's actually, yes, in fact a drill, but it's also to supply power to something I'm going to add in. That's all I have here. I'm planning on putting like more of these scattered around here. And so they used all this stuff, which was supposed to be for module 3, which actually no, it's supposed to be for, yeah, okay, so they're actually supposed to be 4 modules that will be set up for the first mission, which this one was going to be, I forgot what it's going to be, but then they switched it to the research stuff for the aliens that they found. They haven't found any bodies or anything, but then during the first mission on the 30th Sol, a huge Mars quake that registered 10 on the Richter scale, and here opened up this, caused slight damage to there, a few breaches, but I fixed those, and then this crater opened up. I don't know why this turned into regular sand. I have no idea why. And then they found out that there's more water here, but then more stability stuff happened that to here, and then they found out that in fact probably under all this stone, above all this stone, is an ocean, and that the ocean soil sucked all the water from the surface down to here in a hollow area. And there are cave systems here, and then we do have strongholds here, which were other buildings from civilization. And I'm planning on making like buildings that are going to be on the surface but are going to be like destroyed due to age and also war. And I don't know if I showed it inside of the landing craft, but it's landing stuff, and then when night comes, the lights turn on. Kind of small, but that's how I wanted it. And then the American metal flag on there. But what I need to do is actually gonna go find one of the strongholds, set up a little research space around it, roll around the opening first. Like that there. And we're now gonna go look for a stronghold, and then once we find it, I'm gonna use the cave systems here. watch, you can go do something else for a while, and hopefully by the time you get back, I'll found a stronghold, and I'll start building the research base around it. And then a little bit back on the missions. This is I used. I used TNT. No. Missions. The Exodus missions have a total of. Originally supposed to be 6, but now it's going to be 10. And after the 10th Exodus mission, the Genesis missions will happen, which will land. Oh no, yeah, but it's gonna land a bit a ways away from the first landing site, but within a driving distance from a rover, which don't have a rover yet. And they'll set up a bigger base, potential colony or more civilizations. I didn't have strongholds enabled, right? I'm just gonna look for like a hole in the ground. And then the Genesis missions will have a total of 20 missions. And the Genesis craft is gonna be a bit bigger. Ooh, I am probably gonna patch this up. Montage time. I want to make this into a little temple. Okay, I need to get a what table kit for a point of reference. Cause the water roll show up on. See, I use the water for reference, for a reference point. So use a reference point for that. But actually, the missions are funded by NASA and the Russian Space Agency, Canadian Space Agencies, pretty much every single space agency, but mainly by NASA. And the launch vehicle is a modified Starship. Actually, wait, I wonder if one of the strongholds is actually underwater. Yeah, I wonder if it's some of the strongholds are actually underwater. But it was a modified Super Heavy for Starship, which if you're not like a space nerd like I am, then you would understand what I'm talking about for Starship, for Super Heavy. Let's look around in case. But it uses a modified Super Heavy booster for Starship, and then another Super Heavy with a Starship tanker attached to it fuels up the Exodus vehicle, and then the Exodus descent craft attaches to the Martian, I can't think of a name. The Martian Transfer Station, or the MTS, and then they go on a 8-month journey to Mars, and then the station is put into orbit around Mars, where the AI unit Genesis, which Genesis was made before the Exodus AI, so for Genesis missions, the Exodus AI unit will like monitor systems and everything. This is infinite, right? Okay, I did okay. Shit, it's gonna be bad. But and then so the Genesis module was made before the Exodus module. Okay, why does it turn this color? I don't know why. But okay, I didn't do this one. I swear I did not do this one. But so the Genesis module was made before the I'll use a Eye of Ender. That's a smart thing to do. But and so just a unit keeps eye on the station, keeps stuff running up on the station in orbit, and there's also just module in the Exodus craft, and then the Genesis module keeps track of life support systems, heating units, oxygen, water, life support and stuff on the space station, and the Genesis module in the habitat. Shit. Wait, what? But what the heck's over there? But there's just a module in the habitat unit keeps track of pressurization, oxygen, life support, water, power, and then one of the things that was brought on one of the Exodus cargo missions before Exodus 2, it brought an Exodyne, which they call the Martians, the aliens here, an Exodyne monitoring unit, which was placed I'm just gonna just and the place monitoring units around the planet to monitor if anything related to the stuff that's Caesar warning. I think I get the green right. There she was. Green on the map is the module. But they named the aliens that they found Exodynes because of the mission name. And so they decided to name them Exodynes, namesake of the missions, and they were looking for artifacts to see what happened and see if they went extinct, which for now they did. As of now, spoiler alert, they are still alive. They're just hiding on the planet where they turn themselves into stuff. I'm also gonna be a combination of references from different games and movies, like Subnautica and stuff. And then later in Sol 450, they locate a Exodyne ship that then it turns on and broadcasts a message around the whole planet, and also all around the planet on Earth, all around Earth, so everyone can hear it. It really interrupts everything. So broadcast news stuff. It's a huge hacking around the globe on Mars and on Earth, and it says that there are two subspecies of them. One that they found both of them. The ones that they first found were the ones on the surface, which they lived mostly underground in the abandoned mine shafts and in cave system. and some of them died out due to famine or civil war, because there was a civil war between both subspecies, and the one subspecies, the taller ones and heavy armored one, lived in the hollow area, but before they both lived in peace up on the surface, and then also in the ground, and then because that's where the water was and plants and stuff, and then when the water was soaked to the ground, they both lived in the abandoned mine shaft, which they used both for living and also resources. No, I'll just deal with that later. I'll work on more of the modules. And they said that the surface ones, 90% of the surface species died out due to famine, civil war, all that, and then the 10% that did survive went down into the hollow area, which caused some issues, because as a whole, counting both species, the exact population of both species combined was around 200 billion. Okay, no, it was around 2 billion, and there was, okay, so 10 billion and 7 billion for the ones that live in the hollows, and then 4 billion for the ones that live on the surface, and just 90% of their civilization was wiped out. And I'm gonna put an exact number that just 10 billion. The exact number for their species count is 10 million. I'm not gonna go into like 10 million, 10 billion, 700 million, 800,000 and 1. I'm not gonna go into that. I'm not gonna like percentages for that biggest numbers. So 90% of their civilization was gone. So now instead of the 4 billion, there is only 1 billion of them left. So they all moved underground, and they combine. Then the surface and the hollows combined their technology to make the portals that led into the deeper parts of the stuff, because then they later found out there's 3 subspecies, and the third ones, which they worshipped as gods, were the ones that seeded Earth with life, actually. So they find out later, way later, and that there's only 5 of the gods left in existence. 1 stayed on Mars, 1 is on Earth, and then 1 is somewhere else in the solar system, in our solar system, and then the remaining 2 scattered across the universe to seed more planets with life, and to see how their creations went. So, and then a huge search is started around the globe to find the Elder, which they all call now the Earth Elder, and they astronauts here on Mars try to locate both the living Exodynes and the Martian Elder, which they do find some Exodyne artifacts on Earth, and they find another ship, which turns on and causes a massive magnitude 15, a magnitude 10 earthquake in California, which completely destroys San Francisco and Los Angeles and rips open the San Andreas Fault, because that's where their ship was. And then it wiped out power grids across the globe, which the United States government first thought it was a hostile attack from the aliens, but they found out that, well, the ones that live on the surface are peaceful, but the ones that live in the hollows are mostly hostile. And then they find out that there is approximately 5 million left of both Exodyne subspecies, except for the Elder, left on Mars, and that there's only 1,000 of the surface ones left, as they all died out. And then they also found out that there are Exodyne bases on the moon. So the Exodus lunar missions are then funded, and they then head to the moon to locate the bases there, and then they find the first body of a Exodyne that has died, and they bring it back to Earth for testing, and find out that a war happened on Mars billions of years ago between the Exodynes and a hostile parasitic species invaded and wiped out nearly all life on Mars. But because at the time there was, and when the hostile parasitic aliens came to Mars billions of years ago, they nearly wiped out 50% of all Exodynes on the planet, but the Exodynes were able to defeat the parasitic life forms, and then sent some agents to Earth under command of the 5 elders, 100 elders, to seed Earth with Exodyne spores. And they did that, but instead of the spores turning out to be a bit evolved, a bit Earth adapted Exodynes, they turned out to become what we now know as humans on Earth. And then a plague that parasites left here wiped out all the elders except for the 5 elders, and then wiped out 5% of the other population, which they're actually still here on the planet, but it's dormant, but it can't infect humans. Well, it can, but it can't kill them. It can only make them really sick and slowly go insane until they kill themselves. So, yeah, it's lethal, but it's not extremely contagious. but the people on Earth locate the Earth's Elder in hibernation. Well, not in his physical body, in a preserved body, kind of like a in like a hive mind, you could say. So they then wake him up and then ask him questions. Alright, I'll explain more shortly, but I'm not going to start building the next habitation, you know. I'll like build some stuff out here. So ask him questions and stuff, and then tells him that the parasitic life forms have been planning to re-emerge, as they have been dormant on Saturn's moon Titan for billions of years. So the Titanus missions are then funded, which this, so now where I'm at, this takes place in 2050, which I'll kind of stop there, but so I'll start explaining like now the Exodus missions stuff. So okay, get the idea. So this is the first landing site, which was Exodus 1 on July 4th, 2026, and its crew consisted of 6 members, which the commander was Commander Lily Iden, and then one of the astronauts was Otto Hernandez, and then I haven't thought of the other names for the remaining 4. And this is the plaque that was left. This is the descent vehicle. The descent vehicle was right here, and then it listed them off the planet, and then the supply crafts all are small, are downgraded versions of these. They're a bit smaller and have more space, since they have no life support and stuff. They just carry cargo and fuel. And there's a rover, and it set up, it let some cargo scattered around here that then Exodus crew, the Exodus 2 crew, which the ascent craft landed here, which I haven't put that yet, but, and then one of the rovers that was fully fueled with the fuel for the ascent vehicle, fueled it up, and then 2 years later, on December 24th, 2029. Okay, wait. Alright. Let's just, scratch all what I just said. So, Exodus missions were the first, so the Exodus missions, the Exodus program was first funded in 2020 and NASA is still using the SLS, but not for Mars missions. They've only used the SLS for one Mars mission. And after the successes of Artemis, because instead of landing humans on the moon in 2024, they landed them in 2020, in July, at the same time as the Mars 2020 rover landed, because I'm also incorporating real events that's going to be happening in the future. And then, SpaceX also landed the second humans on the moon with Starship, and set up a tiny lunar base. And then the Exodus missions were funded after Artemis 10, and the Artemis missions are still happening, but they're just cargo missions and then other crew missions. And then the first Exodus test mission, which was Exodus 1X, landed on the moon to test all the systems for the Exodus craft, which you see here. And the mission was a success, and then which that was in 2024, and then mid 2024 they started construction on the MTS, or Mars Transfer Station, and the completion and construction on the station was completed in 2025 in March, and then so wait, 8 months all. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So that's 7 months. And then in December 3rd, 2025, Exodus 1 crew launched on top of a SpaceX Super Heavy to the station, and then SpaceX launched a second Super Heavy with a Starship tanker on it to the station to fuel up the craft, to fuel up the Exodus ship and the station. And then the Mars Transfer Station placed itself into lunar orbit for about 2 days to get more supplies from the lunar base, and then it launched itself into a trajectory to Mars, where they stayed in a stable path for 8 months, and on July 2nd, 2026, they made it to Martian orbit, and on July 3rd, they were prepping for the landing, and then on July 4th, 2026, they finally landed. This was the first humans that landed on the moon, landed on Mars, and they set up the Exodus habitation module with the Genesis AI unit in it, and then after supposed to be 50 souls, and they found out about the aliens here, so extended to 100 souls by request of the crew and the exception of NASA. And then so they then had to send a supply craft, which it ran into a malfunction and exploded right here, but they were able to get pretty much most of all the supplies they needed and building stuff for Module 4. And they built Module 4, and they stayed for an extra 2 souls, so their mission time was 102 souls. And they took the Exodus 1 ascent vehicle up to the station and headed back to Earth. And then 3 years later, on December 24th, Exodus 2 happened, but Exodus 2A, which was in the Exodus 2 cargo missions, which are all unmanned, consisted of 5. So Exodus 2-1, Exodus A1, Exodus 2A2, 2A3, 2A4, 2A5, all landed on Mars, and so that'll happen during 2027, 2028, and then a little bit in 2029, like early 2029, and then okay, so 8 months trip. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, January, February, March, April. And then in April, I don't know if I get this right, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but then on April 20th, 2029, Exodus 2 descent vehicle and headed to the Mars Transfer Station, docked onto it, got fueled, headed straight to Mars, and on December 20th, 2029, they entered Martian orbit, and they were hoping to plan to land on the 25th, as to have the first Martian Christmas. Well, the second Martian Christmas was on okay. I'm mentioning that Exodus 1 did the first ever Martian Christmas and the first ever Martian Independence Day, and um, so Exodus 2 had the second Martian Christmas, which they couldn't. They were hoping to land on the 25th, but NASA scrubbed it to 22nd, but they weren't able to as a malfunction in one of the landing gears was spotted, and that took 2 days to fix, which they fixed on the 24th, and then they landed on the 24th. So on Christmas Eve, and they had the second Martian Christmas Eve and the second Martian Christmas, and Exodus 2 is still in the work, and Exodus 2 is still here on Mars. And then Russia is ready to launch their oh god, but SpaceX is planning to launch their second Starship to Mars, which no crew landed on a Starship yet. But this is a SpaceX built craft. It's both SpaceX and NASA craft, so first SpaceX astronauts and NASA astronauts touch the moon and touch the surface of Mars, and then so SpaceX is planning to send a Starship here with 2 crew members and lots of cargo, which it will be landing. So it is currently so 30. Okay, so I'm gonna so it's January 20th, 2030, and the Starship is now left Earth and will be here by July or August 2030, and it'll be landing 2 crew members and some supplies. And Exodus 3 will bring the first children to Mars, as NASA had a competition where 2 children from around the world would be selected to go to Mars. And so Exodus 3 will bring the first children to Mars, where they will live here in the habitation unit, which they will technically be the first colonists. Exodus 3 is not to colonize Mars, it's to set up the pre-base for the colony on Mars. So, and then Genesis is to colonize Mars. Lucy, you're fine! I'll be back. I get him back. Someone's at the door. I needed some stuff. So let's focus on more of the modules. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you want to build this, the buildings are a 15 by 23. 15 on this side and 23 this way. So if you want, and I created some super flat world with red sand and stuff, but you could do these for other things. But okay, like I said before, I'm not gonna be one of those Minecraft streamers that stream Minecraft. Oh shit, I think I fucked it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I fucked it up, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I fucked this building up, I think. Yeah, I did. I fucked it up. Whoop, good for me. Second time I screwed up on one of the modules. Okay, now I need to fix this side. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Need to add on this side. Only the second mistake I made in building this. Good thing I'm in creative, because I can easily just fix this in like a jiffy. And you're there because you'll get fixed when I... But... I don't know, like, what am I gonna do from here? But... So after... Okay, so... Artemis 6... So... It's gonna be a total of 50 modules. You know. Okay, I'll scratch it down. So instead of 50 mod... Let's wait. Because I thought I found a stronghold in the, like, above ground. I was gonna be pissed if it was. Gonna need to be a lot of building around it. So instead of gonna be 50 modules, it's gonna be 30. So at the end of Exodus 2, there's going to be a total of 15. So 1, 2. Because for this mission, they need to build 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 modules for the first mission. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Because there should be a total of 16 modules at the end of this mission. There should be 16. Shut up, Matt. Matt, shut up. You already know left, but shut up. But at the end, I plan on, so let's get the shit out of me. I hear something. And I'll work on the thing later. I'll go do something else for a bit.